Most Pokemon want as high stats as possible. More stats equals more good, right? After all, there's a reason that Arceus' Ubers and Magikarp is barely usable in almost any competitive Pokemon tier. Well, this isn't always the case. The most notable example for this is Trick Room teams, because Trick Room reverses speed. You want every Pokemon on the team to have as low speed as possible to outspeed in Trick Room. Another notable example is Attack. A high attack will make you take more damage from Foul Play and Confusion. So if you don't need attack, you want to run as little of it as possible. So in a situation with a Trick Room special attacker, you want as low stats in both speed and attack as possible. Another less relevant example is a Pokemon with Focus Sash or Sturdy that wants to activate Focus Sash or Sturdy. This could be for Fierce Strats, or it could be to get an Unburdened speed boost or an Acrobatics attack boost. But either way, you want the Focus Sash to break. This would mean that you want minimum stats in Defense, HP, and Special Defense. However, if you do this, you would either want high speed or high attack, as Acrobatics is physical and Unburdened boosts speed. This means that the amount of uninvested stats we have right now is 4 in HP, Defense, Special Defense, and Attacker speed. Now this makes me consider, is there a Pokemon on a team that wants to run 0 EVs and IVs? Of course, there's one Pokemon I had in mind for this, a Pokemon that truly wants to run as many stats as low as it possibly can. Shedinja. Shedinja wants as low defense and special defense as it can get. This is because as it has 1 HP, it will feint to any attack. However, if an opposing Ditto were to copy Shedinja, this defense stat would be important, as the Ditto will not necessarily feint in one hit, as it keeps the HP of itself instead of copying Shedinja's HP. And if this Shedinja was on a Trick Room team, you would want the speed to be as low as possible. This means that in this not too terribly unlikely scenario of Shedinja on Trick Room, this Pokemon would want 3 stats as low as possible, and the HP will be as low as it possibly can because Shedinja's HP is hard locked at 1. You would also not really need to invest in special attack because Shedinja very rarely uses special attack. But of course, this takes us to the terribly unlikely scenario, instead of just the slightly unlikely scenario. For you see, there's a very niche case where Shedinja may technically want to run 0 IVs and EVs into every stat. So, the 2 stats we need to get down to 0 are attack and special attack. Well, with attack, why do Pokemon want to run 0 attack? To prevent foul play and confusion damage. Shedinja, having 1 HP, will feint in 1 hit to either foul play or confusion, so that doesn't really matter. Unless Ditto were to happen to copy Shedinja, in which case the Ditto would not want to take as much damage as possible from confusion and foul play, therefore meaning that if this Ditto was not being used offensively and was instead being used for defensive purposes and support purposes, it would want to run 0 IVs and EVs in attack. Well, of course, if you're doing this, why would you want to run 0 defense and 0 special defense ideas? After all, it would make your own Ditto frailer. Well, if you're in Focus Sash on your Ditto, you may want the Focus Sash to break, so you can then use Thief on an opponent to remove an item from an opponent, serving as a pseudo knockoff because Shedinja doesn't get knockoff. If this is run on a Trick Room team, you want minimal attack, speed, defense, special defense, and HP investment. Of course, what do you do about special attack then? It really has no drawbacks unlike the many of attack. And then, hit me. If we use an attack to trigger a weakness policy, the transformed Ditto will want to do as little damage as possible, deal as little damage as possible to the Pokemon holding the weakness policy. If, say, the move you were using to activate the weakness policy was a grass-type move, which Shedinja only has special moves of, you would want 0 special attack. This means you would want as little in every stat as possible. The stats are as follows: minimum attack to decrease confusion and foul play damage, minimum defense and special defense to activate Focus Sash to allow for Thief to activate, minimum speed to outspeed other Pokemon in Trick Room, minimum special attack to deal as little damage to the weakness policy Pokemon, and 1 HP, the lowest HP stat in the game, and the only HP stat Shedinja can have. There it is, the Pokemon that truly wants no stats. So, why did I choose Shedinja for this? Well, for one, I love Shedinja. Also because Shedinja is the only Pokemon with no HP, which is a stat that any Pokemon in this scenario would actually want to have as high as possible of. So I'm kind of cheating because you can't technically invest IVs and EVs into Shedinja, it just doesn't really matter. But this is my video. If you want to do things differently, you can make your own video on it, or share your ideas in the comments. Either one works. Of course, this is kind of cheating because Shedinja in this scenario could technically want to run higher attack, because Thief, you may want to deal more damage, though either one really works. So it is technically viable within this team to run 0 attack. So without further ado, here's the team. Okay, so with the team, the first thing is I don't really know what format it's for. It's for a doubles format. I just don't think there's a doubles format where all these Pokemon are available. The second thing is this team just isn't very good. It's trying to make a Pokemon with 0 stats work. A team that does that automatically isn't going to be very good. But anyway, here's the team. We've got Thief, which is mainly going to be used by Ditto, After its Focus Sash breaks to serve as a pseudo knockoff and provide support. Absorb, which can trigger Weakness Policy. Protect to just kind of stop moves. Ally Switch to help protect an ally. Safety Goggles to protect from weather. Focus Sash is probably the best item for Shedinja, but we already have that on Ditto to make this Shedinja have 0 IVs and EVs, so Safety Goggles is second best. Ditto here has Focus Sash to use Thief. It has Transform to transform into the Shedinja, which means it can't be using Imposter because it's going to be using Transform, so you gotta use Limpert. We've got Rampardos here, who is the Weakness Policy Abuser. Its low speed makes it function very well on Trick Room. Head Smash, Iron Head, Superpower, Earthquake, just powerful moves. Weakness Policy will be triggered by Absorb and cause its attack to go through the roof. We've got Hatterene here, whose job is mainly to set Trick Room. The idea is that you'll lead with Hatterene and Shedinja. Shedinja will use Absorb on No, it won't use Absorb on Hatterene. It'll just kind of use Protect, maybe Ally Switch. Just try to protect both of them. Hatterene will use Trick Room, and the next turn use Misty Explosion, which will not affect Shedinja because Shedinja has Wonder Guard. Then, if Hatterene say survives and you don't want to click Misty Explosion, you can use Nuzzle or Healing List, which it's not super important, it's mainly those first two moves. We've got Runegrigus here. I don't know if you can have like two of the same item. I don't really know. I don't play a lot of VGC. But the idea for this is to do both the Weakness Policy user and the Trick Room user in one. You use Trick Room, and now you outspeed. And then you can use Poltergeist, Earthquake, and Stone Edge with Weakness Policies boost. Then we have Iron Hands here, who has the basic strategy of just using Trick Room. It's slow, but it does a lot of damage, and it can heal with Drain Punch. So, if you watched this and you enjoyed this, leave a like. If you want to see more, subscribe. If you didn't like this, downvote and tell me in the comments what I can do better. And hey, see these Pokemon names? You should listen to the Pokemon. They're probably right. Thanks for watching. Bye.